I'm here. Here we go. I hope everyone can hear me okay. Okay. I'll wait for some people. Adam will be on here in a minute. Hi, Omni. How are you? It's been a long day. A long day. Did you have a good day? Hi, Adam. All right. All right, Adam. Here we go. Here we are. Come on, where are you? There you are. Hi, Adam.
How you doing, Kim?
I'm great. How are you?
Fantastic.
Good, 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 good. We got a lot to talk about tonight.
Really, do we? I don't think we
Yeah.
have that much to talk about.
Oh, come on now. My DMs have been blowing up. I mean, crazy blowing up. I don't know about yours, but it's nuts. I mean, you're like under a lot of heat right now. It
I'm
is what
always
it
under
is.
a lot of heat.
I know, right?
That doesn't change. No matter the fact that I've been away for 8 months publicly. I mean, you're in my private Instagram, so you know
Right,
how I do videos
right.
and I do my lives and stuff like that. But for the most part, publicly, um, 8 months, literally was the Misfits podcast, and then basically I just went dark after that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and how are you doing? I mean, how are you
I'm good.
feeling? How's this going?
Everything is really good. It sucks that COVID hit the whole household, but it's inevitable. I mean,
Right.
in Florida, it's inevitable. And I knew it was going to end up on my doorstep at some point, and it did.
Yes.
And just deal with it. Everybody in my house and family, they were all concerned with my compromised immune system, but I bounced back relatively quick. The wife is still recovering. She's on two different steroids, a bunch of other medications, and she's fighting it still.
Wow. And your children, they're okay.
Yeah, yeah. My son, who brought it home, bounced back in a day. My daughter never showed a symptom, which I find bizarre because you have three people, three adults around an infant breathing, sneezing, coughing, and she never showed
Right,
one symptom.
right, right, right. Wow. Well, I'm glad everybody's okay. And you know what? You've been so active and getting healthy and you've been proactive with all that.
Right.
So, I mean, you're going to bounce. You obviously you did bouncing back because
Right.
I
No,
see you
yeah.
active
Yeah.
training, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It never, COVID. I mean, my D-Day was Friday and Saturday. And then after that, I was just sniffling and, minor symptoms. And I was good after that.
Right, right. Okay, I want to ask you a question. Can you tell
Yeah.
us, because there seems to be a lot of jealousy about what you do for a living with the whole AEW. I mean, I'm surprised at the messages I got of people, making fun and it just sounds like jealousy. It just sounds like people just trying to,
I
ride your
mean,
ass. Tell me what you do, because it's a pretty cool job, but
right.
I want people to know what you do, because it's cool.
Well, I mean, AEW, I'm a consultant for AEW, but it's not my primary career. I'm in IT, and everybody knows that. But being a consultant for AEW is kind of the gambit of everything. You're there to primarily as videographers and photographers for AEW, but at the same time, I told them I'm here to learn. I'll run cable. I'll run
Yeah,
camera work. I'll run mic work. I'll whatever you want me to do, I'll do it because I want to learn everything
yeah,
within AEW when it comes to video production work. I've been doing videography and photography for years, but I'm no way, shape, or form a master or I know everything. So to always pick up something and learn something from people that do premium business grade, televised live TV production is way different
right.
than me doing real estate, drone work or filming in a gym or anything like that. So it's a completely different ballgame. So I mean, everybody will ask me, well, what do you do for AEW? Most of the time it's just, videography and photography. But there was one AEW live event where I was running. I was helping cable work for the Steadicam that's ringside, and somebody screenshot seeing me in the corner sitting on my ass, and I'm like, that was me in a nutshell. I'm literally sitting on my ass ringside, just pulling and giving cable.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, it's
Well,
awesome though. I listen. They can say whatever they want. They can, wrestling is for 12-year-olds. How can you watch wrestling? It's not real. Well, do you watch movies because they're real? You watch
right.
movies because it's entertaining.
Good.
And you're talking about professional wrestling being a multi-billion-dollar across AEW, WWE, Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's a global phenomenon, and
Right.
it makes the amount of money it does for all those entities, and it's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been watching it since I was 8.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm a big fan, actually. I mean, there's a lot of changes,
Oh yeah,
since,
yeah.
but
Like
I'm
Lenny,
still,
Lenny will say like, oh, there's no big time guys, wrestling anymore, and there are some. There are some big muscle like
yeah,
uh, Brian Cage and Braun Strowman, and those guys are big guys. But wrestling has evolved where it's not just the big muscle guy mentality anymore. It's basically for everybody.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So can I just kind of like start asking some questions that were
Yeah,
sent
right
in my
on.
DM? I mean, like I said, they're not directly from me. The one I just asked you is from me, but
Right.
too, because I wanted to know a little more. But I think it's really cool that you got to see Amanda Nunes. I think that was
Right.
cool.
Yeah,
She's
she's
so
super
cool.
awesome. I used to live in Coconut Creek, and she lived in my complex because
Oh wow.
American Top Team was right next to my complex. And at first, I mean, I kind of knew who she was, but I would see the first time I saw her, she was carrying a big bag of dog food up 3 flights of stairs. And
Yeah.
I was like, that looks like Amanda. She had shades on. I was like, that looks like her. And then one day I was with my son, who was small at the time. I was at the mailbox, and I seen her. She didn't have her shades on, and I was like, holy shit, it's Amanda Nunes. So then I said hi to her. She's always been sweet. She's always been nice. And then I ran into her at the AEW event that was in Miami. So
Uh-huh.
they were there as guests for American Top Team. And then they were doing like this whole thing where they were going to have the owner of American Top Team get like a scuffle, with one of the wrestlers. And I was done for the night. So I was done for the night, and I was like, I want to leave before the massive amount of traffic that leaves
Oh yeah.
behind me.
Yeah, for sure.
So they have this they have usually in every arena like staff entrances or the back lots where people go in and out of like the media trucks and whatnot. So I always leave through the staff like entrance. And as I'm leaving, Jorge Masvidal and Amanda Nunes are leaving at the same time. So the big thing that AEW will drill into everybody's head is professionalism. Like, I could be
Right.
standing next to Ric Flair. Holy shit, it's Ric Flair. But I can't say, hey, Rick,
Holy
can I
shit,
get a
it's Ric
picture?
Flair. Yeah.
Exactly. So, like,
Right.
they drill it into your head about being professional. There's plenty of times where there's wrestlers that I've watched for years standing right in front of me, and I'm a mark. At the end of the day, I'm a wrestling mark. And most of the guys that are consultants that work in AEW are like the same way. You can't work in this industry and not have a passion or love for it. So you're
Right.
standing there, you're like in awe of these guys. And then, so like, I'm literally off the clock. So I'm leaving. So then Jorge Masvidal and Nunes are leaving out at the same time. So as I'm leaving, I first approached Jorge and I spoke to him, and it was like a couple of minutes. Took a picture with him that I posted on my Instagram, and then Nunes was with him, and then I talked to her. I said, hey, I lived in, the name of the complex I used to live in. And she, oh, okay. And then she had a baby, and we were talking for a little. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah. 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 That's what I've heard about her. I mean, even when she comes, I follow her on all her pages, Facebook
Yeah.
pages, Instagram, I mean, that's the only fight that I would pay to watch,
She is a
I mean,
badass. I mean,
yeah. Yeah.
that fight with her and Cyborg was insane. And I
Oh
thought
yeah.
Cyborg was gonna fucking just lay it in, but Nunes is. I don't want to get hit by her.
I don't ever want to miss a fight with her. You
No,
know, I mean, no. I mean, I'm
I
sure
joke.
she brings in the numbers, man.
Right, right. I joke with her. I said to her when back years ago when she lived in my complex, I said, when people don't pay their rent, do they just send you to go collect it? And she
Mhm.
like, giggled at me, but
Okay, so let's get into the kind of what I want to talk about tonight with
right.
you. I want you to kind of clear up some stuff. One of the questions, or you could say question, whatever, in my DM was that you and Pomps are in the outs. You guys are not friends. I
Not at
know,
all. Not at
right?
all.
Well, that's kind of what I thought. So why
No.
would somebody think that? I mean,
Because they
is
want to
there?
stir shit. It's
No,
right
they
now.
want to.
Right now, it's boring. Right now, they've got nothing going on, and rightfully so. When they don't have anything going on, they want to stir up drama to create like storylines, so that they can
Right,
be entertained.
right.
I have I have zero issues with Palms.
Good,
Me and
good,
Palms
good,
talk
good.
all the time, just like I
Do
talk
you?
to
That's
anybody
great.
else.
Yeah, yeah. What about Andrew?
I talk Andrew. I talk to Andrew all the time, and
Yeah.
he had COVID before I had COVID.
Oh
So
wow.
I during the time I was sick and my family's sick, we were exchanging like symptoms about like everything he experienced because it affects everybody differently. So
Yeah.
um, we just exchanged texts back and forth about like what he was going through and what I was going through and our opinions on it. And we both agree that we believe that it was engineered. 100% I believe it's engineered because we both came to the same conclusion that, and this is stuff that people have said before, that it tricks you into like thinking you're okay. At some point during your COVID battle, you wake up feeling amazing. You're like, oh, I'm great. Let me go outside. Let me go grocery shopping. Let me go to work.
Right.
And then
Right.
and I joke like that's their ha ha ha. We trick American round eye to go spread virus for us, and
Yeah.
that's how like we both agreed on that. And we exchanged texts about it. But I talked to Andrew. I talked to Brad. I talked to Pomps. I've met. See, the thing is like in this universe, yes, there's a lot of negative shit that goes on, right?
Yeah.
But besides that, I've met some of the coolest people that I haven't even met you, Kim, in person,
I
but
know, right?
we talk all the time.
Hmm.
I've met Hamburg. I met Dave McCarthy.
I
Um,
love Hamburg.
oh, Hamburg is great.
Oh, so nice.
He's still trying to convince me that he's not drinking alcohol, which is complete bullshit. But,
That's great. Yeah.
I've met a lot of great people in this universe, a lot of great people that I talk to on a daily basis. And when I was going through chemo, you, Dave, Hamburg were checking in on me every day. And when I went ghost, I was ghost. I
Yeah.
wasn't doing lives for months. Even though it's my private Instagram, I wasn't doing lives. I wasn't doing anything actively. I was somewhat in a shell, just trying to focus on getting better.
Right. Which is what you needed to do for
Right,
you.
right, yeah.
Know? And you needed the support, even though, you may think you were okay but people love you, they care about you and they want to know you're okay,
No, I
know?
appreciate that. I appreciate that. And I think going back to what you're saying about going back to what you're talking about just now, that I believe that the maniacs and the trolls need platforms. So like I know they don't have Ruggles anymore. And I completely disagree with that because even though that there's a lot of stupid shit that goes on those platforms, I think that they need it. They need to have that because that's the one thing they have to talk and put up memes and ball bust but it goes a little too far when you got guys that are trying to like destroy families and ruin your jobs and stuff like that. That's when it goes too far, and everybody
Right.
knows that. And
Right.
you know, I truly believe that they need a place because we all know when they don't have a place to come together and do all the stuff that they do, that's when it's like at its worst.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. What's the deal with Gorilla Juice?
I haven't. That guy's a psychopath. That
Yeah.
guy. I don't like. I've had my issues with him, and I call him Andrew Phillips because Gorilla Juice is just a Instagram handle, but me and him go back a while. He's always been there in the background with his multiple accounts, causing chaos, and I know see the problem is like you can't. It's hard to take him at his word because he'll say things and he just doesn't message me. He messages others, and I won't say who he messages, but he'll always say like, he'll come clean and apologize and try to make good on what he's, like I did this and I feel bad, and he'll apologize. And I always kind of just like ignored the messages because he would do things and then it's almost like he's on drugs, he comes off of drugs or whatever the hell he's on. I'm not sure. I
Well,
don't
he
know.
drinks, though.
I
He
have
drinks.
no idea. I have no idea.
Oh yeah, you remember? Come on, years ago, you remember him doing his drunk,
I don't know if he
his.
was drunk or high. I really don't know. And
Well,
I've had live when I used to do New Universal Order. I used to have
right,
live interaction with him.
right.
And one time he was really nasty, and he was just being just an asshole. And then the next live after that, he was wishing me Merry Christmas. It was just bizarre. So
That is bizarre.
I know he had a hand in because I see everything. And if I don't see it myself, somebody sends it to me. I know
Right.
he had a hand in taking down, or supposedly he says he took down Ruggles, which is bullshit because, one, like I just said, I feel like even though there's nasty shit that goes on, that those guys need a platform to do the things they want to do.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, they kind of shot themselves in the foot if Gorilla Juice was supposedly doxing my information, which all this information has been out there because of Jay. Jay
Right.
doxed my fucking information a year and a half ago. And
Right.
I was tricked. He wasn't tricked.
Yeah.
He put that out there purposely. So everybody
Yeah.
knows where I live. Everybody knows my phone number. Everybody knows my wife's name. And so they really didn't dox my information. So when I heard that it got taken down because someone had doxed my personal information, that stuff was like public knowledge for a long time. But
Right.
I think the moderators and the admins of Ruggles just didn't. They had one rule: no doxing, and that should happen all the time. Not just to
Yeah.
me, to Brad, to Andrew, to Nate, to Pomps, to Hamburg, to everybody. They were
Yeah.
doxing everybody.
Yeah.
So recently, Gorilla Juice, he would message me. He's like, I want you to know I'm sorry and I apologize. And it was again like, okay, here we go again. And then he made a post saying that, and I don't know if this is true, that he was one of Jay's like go doers.
Yeah.
Like he was
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
out there
Yeah.
doing the work of Son of Masters.
I saw that.
So yeah, and I don't know if I believe it or not, but because I always base it off facts. I want to see proof that Jay told him, go find. I want McLeod gone. Go find his son's school. That'll make him like leave or whatever. I don't put it past Jay because Jay is a vile, just horrible person, and he's done that to look what he did to Brad. It's not
Yeah.
it's not his first rodeo of him trying to privately or publicly destroy people's lives.
Right.
So,
But now it's kind of all coming back around.
well, yeah, I mean, from what I
Karma
hear and what
back at him.
yeah, right. I mean, it's karma, isn't it? I mean, I don't believe in a lot, but I believe in what goes around comes around. So,
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
So I mean, from what I hear, from what I've gathered, from what people have told me, Jay lost his first job, and then because of
The drunk life, wasn't it?
well, it's all of his stuff that he's done, but it started when Rob Zilla got a hold of his DOT number, and then the people that wanted Jay gone, if it was Gorilla Juice, if it was others, basically worked their magic to basically fucking get him fired. And so I try to piece together the puzzle. Jay was MIA for a long time. I think that's when he wasn't working. And then recently,
That's
he
when he
got,
wrecked his truck. That's when he wrecked his truck,
yeah, that's when
right?
he wrecked his truck. Because that's how
Yeah.
I think, that's how Rob Zilla got his DOT number, was from the tow company or maybe the insurance company. I don't exactly know how, but he got the DOT number, and then Jay just, that's the last piece that he was, missing from the puzzle, I guess, to ruin Jay, was his DOT number. So
Mm-hmm.
once that happened, it was just, writing on the wall. No employer is gonna look at the stuff that Jay does online and goes, oh yeah, this is totally fine.
Yeah. Right.
So in
Right.
a normal world, I would say that's fucked up. But to Jay, it's deserve or get, because this man has done this to other people for years. For years, he's done this to
Yeah.
others, and
Yeah.
and and I know his band of fans, hate my guts because he didn't knock my head off and do the shit he was gonna do to me in the park, and he got embarrassed, and you would think that would be enough, that
Yeah.
he would be somewhat embarrassed that somebody half his size,
Right.
literally half his size,
Mm-hmm.
he couldn't knock my head off.
Right. Right. Well, I think the most impressive thing about that whole thing is, number one, well, you prepared for that. But number two is that when he tried to intimidate you with his size and coming at you, you didn't even move. You didn't blink. You didn't move. You weren't going to budge. That guy was not going to scare you. You were not scared at
I've never
all.
been scared. I've never been scared of Jay.
That's
When
crazy. You
when you
know?
face when you face things like cancer, shit like that doesn't fucking matter. And he's not the first bully I've stood up to in my life. Won't be the last.
Right.
So
Right. But he didn't even know at that
I
point that
love
you
that.
had cancer.
Huh?
He didn't know at that point that you had cancer.
No, nobody did. I didn't say
Yeah.
anything to anybody.
Yeah. And he
That's
still didn't have a problem calling you Cancer Boy after he found out and being a shithead like that.
and he even even after that, people would send me clips of him saying, "Is he dead yet?" Christopher Overhaul, in one of his lives, asked him, "Are you going to say congratulations on his newborn daughter?" He goes, "I'm going to feed that baby to a pit bull." It's shit like that that just,
Yeah.
that he says it's an act. It's not an act. I
No.
saw Chuck E. Cheese Ranch say that on Brad's Live. Oh, it's an act. He thinks he's Roddy Piper. It's not an act.
No.
It's not.
Right. Right.
He's really a horrible person, and I know it's the alcohol. And when he's not like that, I always said that, like, it's the bully verse. There's two
Yeah.
versions. There's the drunk Jay, and then there's the sober Jay. Sober Jay, totally fine to hang out with, totally cool to be around, totally cool to talk to. Funny guy, has great one-liners, can be super comical, but the alcohol destroyed his life.
Mm-hmm.
Not just for him, but his friendships, his career,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. He made his bed. That's what I always say,
Right.
nice to lie in it.
And these
It
are
is.
just facts. I'm not talking shit. These are just facts. And anybody that
Yeah.
can't see that, you're somewhat have blinders on, that you can't see that this man destroyed everything. And everybody wanted to blame Rob Zilla for the disbanding of, like, the Misfits. It wasn't Rob. Rob just retaliated. Me and Rob are not on good terms, but Rob just retaliated against Jay, what Jay was doing, which was Jay was going after his family, or having
Yeah.
his band of guys go after Rob's family. And Rob did the same thing I did. You get fucking, especially when it's your family and your kids and shit like that, you get heated. And
Yes.
I can take punishment all day long online, but when you have, if he did do it, if he has somebody from Wales, UK, Gorilla Juice Andrew Phillips, calling schools in Boca saying that, McLeod's dad is driving around high on cocaine and can't pick up his son, I would like to see that in writing. I probably know I never will, but.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I think Jay has had a huge hand in trying to destroy the Misfits.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Like I said, Rob just retaliated. Jay is like I said, the alcohol just ruined everything, and I know Brad, I can't speak for Brad, but I know Brad would have forgave him if he didn't cross that line. Once he went
Oh.
after Grace, it's like blood in the water.
Mhm.
Just, you can't come back from that. You can't. The things
Oh.
he said about his daughter online, and he tries to say that people editing videos. No, I've watched the Raw lives. He said some horrible, horrible shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. What's the deal with you and Rob Zilla?
Um, in a nutshell, like I don't have any ill will feelings towards Rob. Like I've told him and I've told Lenny, I want that channel to explode. I want Lenny to be, you know, where I think he could be, you know, while he's still on this planet, because Lenny's entertaining. That's what I've
Yeah,
always been a fan of, is watching
yeah,
him. I'm a fan. So, I mean,
yeah.
to
Me
see
too.
Lenny, exactly. So, um, Rob, Rob is hard to deal with. And it takes a lot to deal with his, what I call mood swings. And there was times where he was, you know, we would communicate great, everything was fine, and then he would flip on a dime and just have this meltdown. And there was plenty of times I would try to talk him through it, like, just turn off your phone or go take some time off, or try not to pay attention to a lot of the stuff. And he just was up and down, and it got to the point where he was basically blaming me, Andrew, and Palms for like these rage posts that he puts up. And when I stepped away from the Big Lenny show, I told him, I was like, you got to change the password. You got to change the
Right.
passwords. You got to own that channel and just change the passwords. And he didn't. So multiple people had access to the account. So
Um,
he says it's not him. He says these rage posts go up at like 2 a.m. I'm not awake at 2 a.m. I've got a 6-month-old. I get sleep whenever I can. But he blamed a whole bunch of other people, and I don't think all the other ones out there are real. I think people Photoshop shit because like I saw ones that circulating. I don't believe it, but at the end of the day, I really don't have any hatred towards the kid. Like, I know he's doing a lot, and he's got a lot on his plate handling Lenny. I know at some point I'll bump into him, and I'll talk to him, just me and him. But I couldn't handle the we're cool, and then a post would go up, and then it stirs up a bunch of shit.
yeah,
And at the time, I'm just coming out of chemo. I'm getting my head straight. I'm trying to get back in shape. I'm trying to get my life back to where it needs to be. And I'm like, I don't need this. Like I don't need to deal. Like, I got enough shit on my plate. I don't need to deal with this. So I just kind of
right.
said, I think it's best that you go on your way and keep doing what you're doing. And then I wish him the best. I still watch the videos.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's the deal with the Big Lenny show?
In regards to what?
Well, I mean, I thought it wasn't happening anymore. Is that, or is it just
No.
the podcast? Brad is not. I don't know. Maybe I misunderstood what Brad said on his cardio live just the other day about doing more podcasts. Maybe he's talking about.
Yes. Andrew's done.
Okay.
Andrew is officially done, and I know I've asked Andrew, and he'll watch this at some point. So I wanted Andrew to publicly just come out and say, like, he's done. Like, the doxing and all the negative and toxic shit has gone way too far. So he just wanted to step away, and I know, and this is public knowledge, he wanted to step away a long time ago, but he kept it going, and it just got to the point where he's lost all heart and interest in it. And I really don't blame him. I mean, these 8 months of not like being away, and I gave up New Universal Order, and I live my life. I stay in my little bubble here, and I just watch everything that goes on. And I don't blame him, because it's like when you walk away, it's like this bag of bricks that you just like put down,
Yeah,
and you just walk away from it, and it's like just a sigh of relief.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, could totally understand that. Do you
But
think Brad will
I think
continue it?
Brad is gonna pick up and not do Misfit stuff, but his own thing. Obviously, like Lenny and Rob will be involved in it, and Brad has a huge following, so you know he has an amazing location for a podcast. I know he's planning to do some renovating and transformation, and me and Nate said we'd gladly help in any way we can when it comes to the setup process and all the paperwork that goes behind setting up podcasts and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's a good person. He's a nice guy. You know, I mean,
Yeah, they are. I mean,
I've always
Andrew,
had a good experience with him.
right? Andrew and Brad, I consider close friends, and that's one thing. Like being a fan, you know, and then getting close to them and seeing them now as close friends is great because I confide in Andrew, I confide in Brad, and I think that respect goes both ways because there's things that they've told me that I don't repeat to anybody, and it's the same way with when I tell them something.
Right, right. Yeah. So can you share? Did you get any crazy DMs when we announced that I was going to do an interview with you? Because I was laughing at some of the comments about that I was a tranny interviewing you. I mean, people come up with some shit, man.
You see,
It's
that's
like,
funny to me.
what?
You know? Yeah, like that stuff is entertaining. Like I said, all that stuff is great because that's what this universe is made out of. You can't just sit there and oh my God, I can't believe they said that. It's
Right,
fucking
right.
hysterical. It's hysterical. No, I didn't get any. I have
Really?
no. I have and believe and you're gonna laugh at this, but I have 999 pending friend requests. Anytime somebody adds me, I have to ask them like, "What are you adding as like your name?" If I know them, because
Right,
I keep my private Instagram private. Like,
right,
so if like Zach777 who's saying Jay gave me cancer goes to send a friend request, you're probably not gonna get accepted.
right.
I have to know you. You know, like
Yeah.
like you just can't say shit like that and be like, "Oh yeah, that's totally cool." You know, like.
Oh, I know, right, right.
And I know Zach is one of Jay's, you know, top lieutenants, as I gave that nickname.
Yeah.
But
Well, the
yeah, like,
comment
yeah, go ahead.
about me being Jay's love of his life, stuff like that. I was rolling. I mean, I was laughing at that stuff, you know, but I'm not thin skinned, you know, I'm not going to
Right.
cry about it, you know, or get mad or anything. It's hilarious. And I appreciate, and I know that some of them are on here. I appreciate the attention. It brought some attention to our show, and that's great. You know, it's a win-win for me and for you. You know, I mean, it's funny, it's entertaining, and I have no issues. I have really no issues with it, but I haven't really had, I've been very fortunate, I think. I haven't really been attacked by the trolls. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
The bad ones. I've been actually friended by a lot of the good ones, you know, and it's been great. You know, I mean, they're the ones that send me Jay's clips and, you know, things like that. Whenever something happens, you know, Jay even speaks my name, I get the clip, you know. So, I mean, when Jay was on Joe's show, you know, I mean, that was sent to me a few different ways. You know what I mean? A few people sent that to me. So, you know, I actually appreciated it because it was entertaining to watch.
Yeah, right on. I mean, it's like all that stuff like that. You just can't sit there and be like, oh my, you have to. If you enter this universe having thin skin, you're done. Like, there's
Yeah.
no way you're going to be able to survive. And
Right.
I've treaded the waters of Lake Kresva and I fucking battled some of these guys and I truly believe that some of I mean, there's like I said, a small group of them that just do horrible shit, but all of these guys that are in here now and we'll see this later, and they need a platform. And I hate to give them an idea, but you know, they jump from Reddit to Ruckus. Why don't you guys make your own platform? Like, create your own website. You guys have your own logins, and you guys can go buck wild and do whatever you want.
Right. Right. So what's up with Jason?
Genova?
Yeah. Tell me what really happened with him? I mean, why did he disappear?
His uncle. His uncle's a psychopath. His uncle basically threatened him that the trolls went after his uncle on I think it was Reddit. I'm not sure. but they went after his uncle and were leaving Google reviews on his business or wherever. I don't even know. Like, I don't know where they were leaving them. And they were just harassing him and you know, doing the shit they were doing. And he basically pulled a move of like using the grandmother's inheritance, waving it over Jason's face and Jason's mom's face, that if he continues being online, he won't get a dime.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's
Wow.
basically in a nutshell why Jason will never, well, not never, but for a while until Grandma croaks, he won't be back online.
Wow. See, I didn't know that. Wow,
Right.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, his uncle, I think, took back Jason's place where he lived. Because I think it went up on like Zillow. It was getting sold. I think I saw that somewhere. But yeah, his uncle was to blame for all of that. Because Jane never cared what Jason was
Right.
doing. Grandmother had no clue. So the uncle kind of used the inheritance to wave that over Jason's and his life of being online and doing the things that he's doing.
I just read, yeah. I just read, it's Pomps, right? He says, I challenge Adam to a fight. I'm reading some of these comments. They're pretty funny. Can you see the comments?
Yeah, I can. I can see a lot of them.
Pick a few of them.
Let's go. I'll scroll back.
You're pretty entertaining.
Infamous Bob says, Adam looks like a white Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Instagram Live needs a dislike button. I actually agree with that.
Yes, they do. They really do. I agree. I completely agree.
Yeah, but the last time I saw Jason was May of 2020 when all of that started. Wow, I actually think it's been going on that long already that Jason's been gone. And Jason was a buffer for a lot of stuff. Andrew always said that to me, and I agree with him. Jason was a buffer for all of the craziness that goes on. Jason took it, and he like kind of deflected it from everybody else.
Yeah.
I saw him in May 2020, and I heard that Andrew called me and said, hey, I know you're in IT. Do you have any spare laptops or like anything that we can give to Jason? And I said, actually, I do. I have a Mac Mini. And I gave him the Mac Mini, and I had an old Cyber Shot, and I made a video about it because I never make videos about the good things that I do, because if you're making a video about it, you're looking for validation. But the reason why I made the video was I was basically saying, I'm not selling this to you. I'm not giving it to you. I'm letting you borrow it, because
Right.
if your uncle comes and tries to take it from you, then he has to deal with me, and that's a whole different scenario. Now, in retrospect, I should have realized that Jason is the ultimate scam artist, and he basically probably just turned around and sold it on eBay, which is
Oh,
fine.
wow.
I'm totally fine with that. I knew I wasn't going to get it back, but
You should have known. But you have a big heart and you were trying to help him.
I should have known, but it's all
That's
good.
awesome.
I think at some point Jason will be back. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty sad though. I mean, that's a pretty shitty thing for his uncle to do, you know?
Yeah, it is, and it took away a source of entertainment for these guys. You know, these guys. I mean, this universe is around Jason, really. I mean, it's the
Right.
Genovaverse for a reason.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's not really anything anybody could do about it. I mean, Cassidy Campbell tried to do stuff with Jason, but Jane fucking immediately stopped that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I know, I mean, you can see a lot of the videos between with Jason and Brad. There's a friendship there, I mean, it was, funny to watch Brad give him shit and his reactions to him, I mean, that was totally entertaining, when they go to the gym together and stuff, I mean, I love watching all that. That was great,
I mean, that's what made that universe what it is that content.
Yeah. Yeah, because Brad does have a huge following. Huge. I mean, he gets on a cardio live, and I mean, he's got 200, 300, 400 people there.
Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy. That's why I was watching him the other day when he was doing cardio with Taco Queen, and I just said hello. I totally didn't expect that he would see my comment, and he said, "Hey, Kim Haynes is here," and then Taco Queen waved, and I waved back at him and stuff, and I was like, "Wow, you really do read what people."
Oh, he does.
He does.
Oh, he reads every single one of them.
And he's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's hilarious. I love it. You know who I missed that I'm hoping will be back soon is Chris Brock.
Oh, man.
I know.
That just puts me right in the feels because I know what's going on with him. Do we want to talk about that?
I don't. Yeah, I mean, it's not. I don't think that it's a secret.
Right.
I am friends with him on a couple of different platforms. So
when's the last time you heard from him?
Well, it's interesting you should say that because I bet it's been a month ago, and then he had made a post on his Facebook, and I responded to the post, but I haven't heard back from him. Right. So I know he was really feeling yucky.
Yeah, he went MIA, which is concerning. So for everybody in here that doesn't know, Chris Brock has some form of, is it like head cancer, or is it internally or externally?
Well, I'm not 100%. I'm not going to answer that because I'm not 100% sure. Right. I just know that over in Sweden in their healthcare, he's been having a really hard time,
right.
getting help, getting seen, and finally he did get seen and got an MRI and all of that, and just. Yeah, the stress of it all, and the wound is right there on his head, and it's just it's bad. It's an open wound, so it's horrible.
He's a great guy. I mean, I him, like a lot of people in here, and a lot of people in this universe know Chris Brock. I had no clue until you told me, and then I reached out to him. Andrew actually has his phone number, so I reached out to him. He responded. I told him that all the guys here are behind him. If he needs anything, to talk to us. We're an ocean apart, but I'll talk to him. I talk to Hamburg all the time via Instagram. I'll talk to him.
Yeah.
And I mean, it hits me because I know what he's going through, and then now he's MIA. The last post he put up on Facebook, he said, it's probably the same one you're talking about. He says, I need a ride to like a specialist. If I don't get the ride, I'm done for. And then there's been nothing.
Yes. That's exactly the one I was talking about.
So, and I shot him a message on WhatsApp. He hasn't even seen it because on WhatsApp, it'll tell you when the message is read, and it hasn't even been read yet. Yeah.
Facebook Messenger is that way as well.
Is it?
So, yeah. And he hasn't responded to mine either, and he won't respond right away if he's having a bad week, or a bad day. He'll wait till he's in a better mood, and he'll tell me that, so I totally get it. I totally understand, but I just want him to know, I'm sure he'll see this. I just want him to know that people care, that he has friends out there that genuinely care about him. He's not, he may be physically alone, but he's not emotionally alone. We're all there, to be there to support him. So that's kind of a big deal.
It is. And I told him the same. I said, we're here, man. Like, listen, you're part of this universe. So there's people that care about you. And he just very little responses. And then he just went ghost. So I hope it didn't get worse, and I hope he's okay.
Yeah, me too. So if you're friends with Chris, message him, tell him you care about him. Wish him well, for sure.
I might make Hamburg drive 4 hours south.
Yeah, right. Now that would be a great thing. Where Hamburg lives, his area looks a lot like where I live. With the ocean and all the green, and stuff. It looks very similar to the area, the Pacific Northwest. The peninsula there. That's where I live, and it looks very, very similar. It's really beautiful.
It does. Cool. It does. Hamburg wants to live so badly here, and I told him we can trade for like 2 weeks. I told him I'll swap families too if he wants. We'll do a wife swap.
He's recently a grandpa. Isn't that amazing?
Is that public knowledge?
No.
It is now.
I think it is. I mean, he posts, the stuff, so
Well,
I
yeah.
would
I
think
mean,
it is. I know
he's
the
got
baby's adorable.
yeah. He's Hamburg's a grandpa, so that's I bust his balls all the time about that.
It's gonna happen to you,
Oh,
so
eventually,
don't
yeah. I
talk
mean,
shit.
yeah, it'll happen to me. It'll definitely happen to me.
Yes, it will. Is there anything specific you want to talk about tonight? Anything you'd like to say,
Oh man,
get out there?
I've been thinking about that all day because like I said, 8 months of me being ghost and not, and I stay in my bubble, man. I really do. Like I wish. I think at the end of the day, I wish that this universe would come back together again the way it used to be, but it's just never gonna happen. I
You don't
just
think?
Jay
No.
Jay Jay put the nail in the coffin on that, and he basically didn't like what so many for years were like, oh, the Misfits are done, the Misfits are done. No, they were done after Jay did what he did. So Brad will never want him around. Andrew's done because of everything that happened with that and everything, all the negativity and toxicity, and I get it. So, I mean, I think Brad will carry the torch with doing his own thing, and you have the Big Lenny show, and I mean, those are where you guys are going to have to get your immense from is
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. 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 I kind of agree, but it's kind of sad because for that to happen, that means Jay won. What gives him
Yeah,
the satisfaction. That's what I mean, that's what he's thinking, you know? Fuck
well,
these
like they
people.
say,
If they don't want me around, if they don't want to, he's just it's like a slap in the face to his friends yet again, destroying something
something,
that was once so fun.
right? They always say father always wins, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing, like leading, like you said earlier in the live, I got in shape to fight Jay, right? And I wouldn't have probably done that because I could have done it myself, but there was a goal. There was something I was going towards. And it was to be in the best shape of my life, not being a fucking fighter or a boxer
Yeah.
or anything like that, was to be able to have my cardio down because my game plan was just to let him, wind himself out, which he was on. It was bound to happen seconds after right before he tore his pec. But if it
And
wasn't,
you could have nailed him when he sat down and he was like, stop, stop, I'm hurt.
right,
Well, it's a fucking fight. You're supposed to get hurt,
right,
but you didn't go after him.
right,
You stopped,
and
so even then you had a huge heart.
well, here's the thing. A lot of people say it was because of heart, but I saw, and I said this before on the Misfits podcast, it was two things. I thought he was playing possum. I thought he was like, I'm hurt. And then I was going to come in closer and he was just going to fucking plow me. And then the second thing was when I saw that he was legitimately hurt, and I said this before, and it's not me talking shit. I saw a scared little boy. Like he was frightened because he was in pain and he didn't know what happened. And I knew it was done. And he's legit tore his pec. I mean, people days after like, oh, it's makeup. It's makeup. No, it's not makeup. He tore his pec.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do I think he could have continued? Yes. He could have completely, fully continued, which to me, I wish, because I'm disappointed in that, because I wanted it to go longer than it did.
Yeah.
Because I had so much, what I call in the basement, to unleash on this guy that tormented my life. We were close friends for so long, and I helped him out so much. There was so much pent up that I wanted to release on him, and it was like done. He tore his pec, and I'm like, that's it. And I jokingly said, which became like a ment, I didn't even get started yet, and I
Yeah.
really didn't, because I had so much that went into that, and now we'll never know unless there's a Masters McLeod too, which everybody wants.
Well, I think you've handled all of this great. I really do. I think you've You've handled yourself well. You know, you're well thought out. You're prepared for almost anything that comes at you, and that's pretty amazing. You know,
Yeah,
you've had a lot on your plate, a
yeah,
lot on your plate to
I
deal with, and
appreciate that.
all this stupid internet bullshit, you know, that nobody needs, you know, stuff like that. So I mean, I applaud you. I really do, Adam. I mean,
Thank you.
I've said it a million times over and over and over. You know, you didn't just stand up for your wife, your kids. You stood up for all of us that he attacked. You were the only one that really did. You know, I mean, you did it all on your own. You know, you weren't in
I
cohorts
wasn't
with anybody
pressured.
else to do it, huh?
I wasn't pressured.
No,
And
no, and you
actually,
handled it
and to
well.
be honest, I had fun with it. I really did have a lot of fun with it because to go back and forth and to have, like I said, a target to get myself from I started at 240, 245, really 250, down to 215, training my ass off, getting a personal trainer just so that I can be in somewhat form of decent shape to go toe to toe with somebody that's double my size. So
Yeah,
thank you. I appreciate that. And it took a lot, and the road is not done. I've got a lot of work ahead of me, um, and I'll let everybody know here that I'm basically documenting the process of my road back to like a form of normalcy. So I'm putting together, because that's what I do, videography. I'm putting something together that'll be like a 5 or 7 episode series, but I'll do it on my personal Instagram because it's personal to me and it's got a lot of personal stuff in it. And you know, anybody in my personal Instagram, I know with one exception, and that's TransformX. But I
yeah,
trust TransformX more than people I know in real life.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
another thing. Everybody thinks that me and TransformX are the same person, but he's in here right now. So how's that possible?
Right, right. No, I've never thought you're the same person.
Well, that was one thing that Rob thought, that I was TransformX, and he made a post about it saying someone needs to find out who TransformX is. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Adam. And I'm like, Rob, he's been in my fucking lives.
Yeah, yeah. I like him. He's
Okay.
pretty down to earth. He's got a pretty clear head, and you know, I
Yeah.
mean, he puts out some content, man. I'll tell you what. He puts out
Shout
some
out to
content.
TransformX. Shout out to You Gotta Be a Freak. Those two are my boys right there.
That's right. All right. Well, Adam, you know what? I've loved every minute of this, and I appreciate you doing this for me.
Not a problem.
Our hour is coming up, and I don't want this to get deleted like
Not a
the last
problem.
one did. So, but you take care. Thanks for being on here, and
Sure.
we'll stay in touch, especially about Chris Broad. I'll do a little more research. Maybe you can talk to Hamburg about going down and
Yeah,
seeing him.
we gotta find out what's going on. Chris
Do
Broad's one of
something.
us. Chris
Yeah, we
Broad's
got
one
to
of
do.
us.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. So, you take care and go enjoy your family.
All right.
All
See
right.
you, Kim. We'll
Thank
talk.
you. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I don't know why it's not going. That's hilarious, huh? Oh well, it is what it is.
All right. See
All
ya.
right. There we go. All right. Thanks everybody for showing up. Have a great night. Thank you. All right. Why is this not going now?